XRP Future Millionaire, and we have some breaking news. The June U.S. consumer prices rise faster than expected. I predicted an over 9% CPI, and it came in at 9.1, so we have a lot to talk about. If you're part of Tom's Army, today's going to be a day where I have to go through and I have to get rid of a bunch of people. It's just I'm not in the business of being taken advantage of. I have a spectacular community here where we're all sharing, where we're all on the same page, where we all share the chart so you can stay one step ahead. But unfortunately, it turns out that there's too many people that are taking advantage of my system. So I'm going to have to go through today and I'm going to have to release a bunch of people that are not part of Tom's Army anymore. It's simply unavoidable. We're down to 236 members. Yet there's 256 members in here, which means there's 20 of you in here right now that are watching that are taking advantage of my generosity. Don't make me be a dick. Don't make me switch the way I do things. But the more people that take advantage, the less I am willing to, I pay it forward every single day. And the fact that people will join just to cancel and just to get into my Telegram is discouraging. So if you're one of those people, I'm not even waiting 24 hours. You might be gone by the time you see this video because it's unacceptable. It's been several months. And if I let this keep going, by the end of this, no one's going to be paying it forward. So just make sure if you're in the Telegram, if I've given you that exclusive Telegram and you're getting that by paying the support of $9.99 a month, I put everything free on YouTube, and that's how I do things on YouTube. Otherwise, if we drop below 200, I'm going to start doing advertising on my channel, a lot of it. June U.S. consumer prices rise faster than expected. The U.S. seasonally adjusted consumer price index, a measure of inflation, rose by 1.3% in June, ahead of expectations for a 1.1% increase and following a gain of 1% in May. According to data released Wednesday by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, core CPI, which excludes food and energy prices, rose by 0.7% faster than the consensus estimate for a 0.5% increase. Core CPI rose by 0.6% in May. Food prices increased by 1%, while energy prices surged by 7.5%. Gasoline prices posted an 11.2% gain. Owner's equivalent rents rose 0.7%, while regular rents advanced 0.8%, which is horseshit. Rents went way up from that. There were also noticeable gains in the prices of apparel, new vehicles, and used vehicles, while airline fares retreated after a series of increases. The year-over-year rate for overall CPI accelerated to a record 9.1% from 8.6% in May, while the rate of core CPI slowed modestly to 5.9% from 6%. The monthly consumer price index, or CPI, reported by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, measures the index level of prices paid by consumers for a basket of goods and services such as food, energy, vehicle, medical care, apparel, and housing. The core measure, which excludes food and energy due to their volatility, is closely watched by markets and the Federal Reserve as a sign of underlying inflation pressure. Rising inflation is a sign of strong U.S. consumer demand, but both stocks and bonds normally react negatively to a level of price growth that would necessitate higher interest rates. And now, for anybody who doesn't know what the CPI is, here's an introduction.
The Consumer Price Index, or CPI, is considered the benchmark inflation guide for the U.S. economy. It uses a basket of goods approach that aims to compare a consistent base of products from year to year, focusing on products that are bought and used by consumers daily. The price of your milk, eggs, toothpaste, and haircut are all captured in the CPI. The CPI is calculated by taking price changes for each item in the preset basket of goods and averaging them, with the goods being weighted according to their importance. The index uses a base year for comparability of its calculations, so changes will often be provided on a percentage basis to reflect only changes to prior index levels. There are two CPI figures: the CPI for urban wage earners and clerical workers, the CPI-W, and the CPI for all urban consumers, the CPI-U. The most watched metric is the CPI-U, which is often presented with a seasonal adjustment, as consumer patterns vary depending on the time of year. The CPI is a detailed release with breakouts for most major consumer groups and geographical regions. The CPI is also used to identify periods of inflation or deflation. Large rises in CPI during a short stretch typically signal periods of inflation, and large drops in CPI during a short period usually mark periods of deflation. As well, the CPI is used to make changes to cash flow mechanisms such as pensions, Medicare, and cost of living adjustments. This versatility means the CPI affects nearly every market and person in America.
Good morning, 9 a.m. on the East Coast. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. And please, 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 if you're part of Tom's Army or were part of Tom's Army or in the Telegram, don't make me be a dick. Resubscribe, join Tom's Army. I've let it go for several months, but I can't ignore the fact that there's 21 more people in the Telegram than that are in Tom's Army. That's a slap to my face is what it is. So this morning we have the total crypto market cap at 834.4 billion. And this is either one big continuation and we're about to come down again, like we've been talking about for a while. The CPI came out today. You've seen it was awful. This is either getting ready to drop very, very hard, or this was a massive fake out this morning with the CPI data, and we're selling off, and then we're going to turn back up. But I don't know. This looks bad. It's following this falling channel absolutely beautifully that I drew the other day. We had a little fake out over the top, but then we came right back down, and now we basically touched the bottom of the channel again at 18,929. The bottom of this channel is 18,834. We break through this, got the arrow here, we would come down to this area down here at about 17,800. That's not that far now. That's a 1,000 point drop roughly. 1,300 point drop. So if we can get some real nice rebound here real quick after a quick sell-off, because that's what ended up happening, it always does. Maybe we'll get a quick run out, and then we'll get a little pump here. It's going to liquidate the shorts, but I don't know. We got to stay above this ascending triangle support, and right now we're coming back around, and we're going to see if this actually gets used as resistance. If it does, it could show an early morning drop all the way down here to 28.6. So... but first we have 29,487. But if we get rejected by this area, which everybody thinks it's going to go down, which is typically where we end up having a quick reversal and then it'll come down. So we'll see what happens here. I'm very interested to see how this morning plays out with the CPI data. Pay attention to what I said in this update, because if this rejection on the 200-day is legitimate and this does not get it back above the 20-day in the next couple hours, we're going to have a drop down to like 29.4, 28.6 today. If we can hold this ascending triangle pattern, we could come all the way back up to 34.7, real sneaky. So that's how tricky it is. But the most important thing is the breaking news is the CPI comes in over 9.